Today is Tuesday, July 30th. What to know today about the second Democratic debate and a major data breach at a big bank. Plus, the Fortnite World Cup, contact lenses that zoom when you blink, and the copyright case against Katy Perry. Today's episode is brought to you in part by the University of Texas at El Paso, or UTEP. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. The second Democratic presidential debate kicks off tonight. 10 presidential hopefuls will take the stage in Detroit tonight, and 10 more will debate tomorrow night, for a total of 20 candidates hoping to make their mark on live TV. CNN is hosting this time around, and there will be one person you did not see during the first debates. Montana Governor Steve Bullock is new to the stage. He's in because someone else dropped out of the race. Remember, not all of the Democratic presidential candidates will be there, only the 20 that met certain qualifications. CNN held a live drawing to determine who would debate on which night, ensuring there were some candidates who are polling well and not so well on both nights. Tonight, the top candidates in the polls include Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Tomorrow, Senator Kamala Harris and former Vice President Joe Biden will be on the stage together again. Similar to the last time, Time magazine says you can expect debate on issues like immigration, healthcare, and climate change. Vox says there will be another debate in September, but that one will have even stricter qualifications, so many of the candidates we'll see this week will not make the cut again. This week's debate starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on CNN. Well, there are more details now about that shooting at the Garlic Festival in Northern California Sunday night, just south of San Jose and Gilroy. NBC News reports right before the gunman opened fire, it appears he posted 2 photos on Instagram, one that encouraged people to read a book used by neo-Nazis and white supremacists. Police say the 19-year-old used a semi-automatic rifle that he legally bought in Nevada. Then he cut through a fence to get into the California festival to avoid security. Police are still trying to find out exactly why the gunman did this. So far, authorities say it appears like he shot at people randomly. 3 victims were killed, including 2 children, and about a dozen others were hurt. Police were able to quickly find and kill the gunman, and officials say because of that, many lives were saved. They're still looking for a possible second suspect, but it's not clear at this point if anyone else actually fired a weapon. The Garlic Festival in Gilroy raises money for local charities and draws in as many as 100,000 people to the small town. Many in the community gathered for a vigil last night and wore Gilroy Strong shirts. There's another big data breach to tell you about. This time, Capital One announced a hacker accessed personal info on more than 100 million credit card applications. The Wall Street Journal reports this is one of the largest ever data breaches to hit a big bank. And this time, the FBI did make an arrest. A 33-year-old woman is accused of breaking through a Capital One firewall to access customer data that was stored on Amazon's web-based storage service. The Journal cites sources who say that woman was apparently a former employee at Amazon Web Services. So what data did she allegedly get? Well, most of it was addresses, dates of birth, emails, and income from credit card applications between 2005 and 2019. But even some social security numbers and bank account numbers were also accessed. Capital One says specific credit card numbers and passwords, though, were not compromised in this, and the company says the info was probably not used for fraud, though it's still all under investigation. And yes, Capital One will be offering free credit monitoring services to the people affected. He's the first ever Fortnite World Cup champion. 16-year-old Kyle Giersdorf, known as Booga to gamers, won $3 million. CNN says that's the largest ever payout for a single player in an eSports tournament, as in professional video game competitions. Yes, if you've never heard of this, people pay to watch other people play video games. And this industry is growing. CNBC says revenue coming in from esports around the world will hit more than $1 billion in 2019. That's up nearly 30% since last year. The New York Times reports the Fortnite World Cup took place in New York, in the same stadium where tennis players will be competing in the U.S. Open. All right, we have more news ahead for you, but first, a quick thank you to today's sponsor, Skillshare. Have you tried this yet? Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of amazing classes covering dozens of skills, with classes in everything from photography and creative writing to productivity and entrepreneurship. I firmly believe that in order to find what you're most passionate about and most interested in, then you have to try it. You have to try a lot of different things to know what grabs your attention. As a journalist, I'm curious about a lot of different topics, so I love learning and trying new things. Skillshare makes it all possible in a very convenient way. It's all online and on demand, so it fits your schedule. Join millions of other students learning on Skillshare and start for free. Yes, the Newsworthy listeners get a special offer for 2 months free. Skillshare is offering the Newsworthy listeners 2 months of unlimited access to thousands of classes for free. So to sign up, go to Skillshare.com/newsworthy. Again, go to Skillshare.com/newsworthy to start those 2 months now. Skillshare.com/newsworthy. All right, now back to the news. Could this be the future of contact lenses? Cnet reports researchers at the University of California, San Diego have come up with a lens that can zoom in when you blink twice. Yes. How does this work? Well, to put it simply, it apparently responds to electric impulses during eye movements, like when you're looking up or down or blinking. So blinking twice tells the contact lens to zoom in. Gizmodo says the contacts could also focus on different things, like switching between near and far objects. But it will be a while before people can actually use these kinds of contacts. So far, the prototype has only worked on a special rig, not a human eye. But scientists are hopeful this could be a real option in the future. Google is starting to talk more about its new Pixel 4 phone and what it can do. The Verge says Google teased some of the phone's features in a YouTube video, including motion sense and face unlock. Face unlock is similar to Apple's Face ID, which unlocks the phone using facial recognition. But Google says this feature works at almost any orientation, even if you hold the phone upside down. As for the motion sense, it can detect tiny hand or finger movements near the phone, making it easier to skip songs, snooze alarm, or silence phone calls just by waving your hand. Google's Pixel 4 will likely come out in October. Coming soon to PBS, a documentary about former President George W. Bush. ABC News reports the 2-part documentary called W will be all about Bush's life and political career, including interviews with historians, journalists, and his inner circle. Deadline says Part 1 of the film will follow Bush's road to the Oval Office, and Part 2 starts with his response to 9/11 and the war in Iraq. The documentary will air next spring as part of PBS's American Experience series. And speaking of PBS, The Verge says you will soon be able to stream the channel on YouTube TV for the first time. Users could stream episodes of some PBS shows on YouTube's website before, but now YouTube TV will have live access to the entire channel. The channel will be available later this year. It will cost about $50 a month to stream PBS and 70 other networks. Katy Perry just lost a legal case, and now she'll likely have to pay up. A jury says her 2013 hit song, Dark Horse, copied a Christian rap song. The AP reports it's a rare takedown of a pop star and her producer by a relatively unknown artist. The jury says Dark Horse stole from the Christian song Joyful Noise by rapper Marcus Gray. The case focused on the beats of the song, not its lyrics or recording. Perry's songwriting team said before the trial they had never heard the song they're accused of copying. But lawyers for the other side say it is possible they heard it. It had over 1 million plays on YouTube and MySpace, and the album it's included on was even nominated for a Grammy. Either way, The Hollywood Reporter says a jury will now decide how much money Perry and other defendants will have to pay the rapper for copyright infringement. Hit song Old Town Road by rapper Lil Nas X and featuring Billy Ray Cyrus just made Billboard chart history. Billboard says the song has been #1 on Billboard's Top 100 list for 17 weeks in a row, the longest-running #1 single since the chart's creation. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. And a big thanks to those of you who have left reviews on Apple Podcasts or wherever you like to listen. Some of the most recent reviews called The Newsworthy a must in their daily routine. And another from Leah says she loves listening, that it's concise and informative. I so appreciate you taking the time to write these reviews and share the show with others so that more people know that it's available and worth listening to. And by the way, I read every review that's listed. And as always, you can read more about any of the news stories we talked about in this episode. Just look for the links and sources in the episode description in your podcast app or click episodes on thenewsworthy.com. The Newsworthy is ready for you to listen every weekday by 4 in the morning. I'll be back with more news tomorrow. Have a great day. Hey, one more thing before you go. Today's episode is brought to you in part by the University of Texas at El Paso, or UTEP. If you don't think you have the time or the money to go back to school, but need a certain degree to advance in your career, then check out UTEP. Degrees are accessible from anywhere and are made to be flexible and convenient for busy people. Yet the content is the same as you would get on campus from the same professors. UTEP is accepting applications for fall 2019 right now. So go to utepconnect.utep.edu. That's utepconnect.utep.edu.